Your Sunday Week 14 schedule starts off in Baltimore. David Bastl, Cam Stewart with you. Let's talk about the Ravens coming off a bye week against the Los Angeles Rams. Baltimore, arguably the best team in the conference, Cam Stewart.
They look pretty good, Dave. I got to be honest, too. Harbaugh and some extra time there for the Ravens. Bad news, but the Rams are playing great football. I was getting a little bit worried with Joe Flacco. He was doing some damage, but at the end of the game, the Rams took charge, Dave. Here's the deal. I know they're flying across country, but we're getting a touchdown plus in this game. They're playing great football. They hold the tiebreaker against the Seahawks. I'm telling you, this team's fighting for a playoff spot. 7 might be too many. Give me the Rams.
I'm on board with that as well. L.A. Rams. Yeah. We move on to Chicago, where the Bears host the Detroit Lions. Detroit 3-point favorites on the road. Winners of 3 straight against Chicago. 4-1 in their last 5, Cam Stewart.
That line looks a little bit light, Dave. I think it could have laid like a 4 and people would still get Lion action, but is there concerns with the Lions? They're giving up points to like teams like the Saints. They got beat down by the Packers. I know the Packers are playing better, and the Bears play them tough. I'm going to tell you something. I will take the small number. I think this might be a sucker line. You fish, a lot of people taking the Lions. I'll take the Bears in this spot. I think they can win the game. Short number, but I like Chicago to cover. They might win outright.
You know what? Very competitive, too. Some of these games, when they've went head-to-head, they're a little bit tighter than expected. We move on to a division rival, maybe a revenge game of sorts for the Seattle Seahawks in San Francisco. San Francisco coming off that massive win in Philly. Yep. 10.5-point favorites. They shellacked the Seahawks a couple weeks ago on Thanksgiving. A lot of times you don't forget those things if you're Pete Carroll.
Good call, Dave. I'll tell you, San Francisco, do you want to get in front of this freight train? And Dave and I, we smashed the Niners last week. I know a lot of people like the Eagles as a home dog. This team is special, but now feeling good about themselves, Seattle comes in there with revenge on their mind, and they are a desperate football team. They play San Francisco. They play the Eagles. They have to make it close and try to win. They almost got it done against Dallas, Dave. Yep. Give me Seattle plus 10.5. I got to take the excessive points. I know the Niners are the best. Seattle can backdoor with this number.
Yeah, absolutely. 10.5, especially that hook, too. I'm on the Seahawks as well. We move on to the Vikings, who are coming off a bye on the road in Las Vegas. 3-point favorites are Minnesota. Right now, the Vikes are actually in a playoff spot. That's hard to believe. I'll say it again.
Yep.
The Vikings are in a playoff spot at 6-6. This is another must-win.
I got to tell you, Dave, I'm actually going to take the Raiders here.
Wow,
I think this is a good spot for them. I know the Vikings are coming off that bye, but I didn't like what I saw from Dobbs. I saw a lot of regression in that game against the Chicago Bears. He looked awful. And I got to tell you something, the Raiders and Max Crosby in that pass rush, I think they can show up in this game. I will take the dog. I will take the home dog, and I think the Raiders win this game outright. I know Minnesota needs to win. Just because you need to win doesn't mean you're going to. Give me the Raiders, the silver and black attack, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely right about that. But I do like the Vikings to win this game. I like the restart of the bye. The astronaut has to get back on it, and the Vikings need this win. I think they're going to eke out a win in Las Vegas. We move on to a pretty good game with the Bills in Kansas City against the Chiefs. Right now, Sports Interaction has the Chiefs as 2.5-point favorites. It's a tight one. The last 2 games that these two teams met settled by 6 or less points.
Almost feels like a double, triple revenge spot for the Buffalo Bills. Here's the thing. Bills lose this game, they're done.
Yes.
They got to run the table in their season. I think they have to go 4-1, Dave, to make the playoffs, and it starts here against Kansas City. One thing we know, the Bills, they got to show up in this game, and I'll tell you something, they can maintain Mahomes. Kansas City got a little bit beat down against Green Bay. I like Buffalo in this spot. We're getting 2.5. I like the Bills outright. They'll probably find a way to screw me, Dave, like they always do, but I'm taking Buffalo Bill to win outright. And the points.
I hope it's not one of those scenarios where Buffalo went down to Philadelphia and probably should have won that game as well. Could be an offensive shootout in Kansas City. Look for that. We move on to the Chargers hosting the Denver Broncos. Right now, Sports Interaction has Los Angeles as 3-point favorites. Divisional matchup. Last 4 times these two teams have faced off, they've split the games 2-2, with both teams winning on home turf.
Dave, what do we do with this game? I'm confused because I want to take the Chargers, and then I'm like thinking...
This smells like a push.
This smells
it really
like
does. I'm just being honest.
Pushy. Yeah, we're getting pushy. I'll tell you, though, Denver almost came back and won that game against Houston. They're still playing good football, and the Chargers, they beat the Patriots 6-0 in the cold. You know what, Dave? I don't trust the Chargers. Give me the Broncos. I'm getting $3, and I'll take the Broncos, but you're right. This game has got push written all over it, baby.
I got the Chargers. Minus the 3. What's going to happen is 2017 Los Angeles, and I'm going to be sitting there going, why did I do this? Yep. We move on to the Sports Interaction game of the day. It is the Dallas Cowboys, 3.5-point favorites at Sports Interaction, home to the Philadelphia Eagles. Can the Eagles rebound in this situation considering the beatdown they took last week at the hands of the 49ers?
I got to tell you, this Dallas Cowboys team at home, their offense looks awesome. CeeDee Lamb looks unstoppable. And I'll tell you, Jalen Hurts was banged up in that game. This is a revenge spot for the Dallas Cowboys. They should have won in Philadelphia. I know it's a lot of points. You get that hook at 3.5. I don't care. I like the Dallas Cowboys by a touchdown in this game. I think they're going to punch Philadelphia in the face and say, we can win this division. Give me Dallas, Dave.
Yeah, give me Dallas as well. Dallas has won 4 of their last 6 games against the Eagles, but last time these two teams met just a couple weeks ago, Eagles squeezed out a 5-point win.